So today it's a pretty quick, easy lesson. We're talking about a thing called ratios. So we've seen ratios probably before in your life, not this year, but you've probably seen those. So ratios are one way in math you can show the relationship between two numbers. So they might tell you a little story like there's 3 boys and there's 5 girls in a group, and then they could ask you to write down the boy to girl ratio. There's 4 different ways you could write a correct answer to this. So depending on what their directions are, you just go with what they say to do. Can anybody tell me possibly one way to write a correct answer for the boy to girl ratio with those numbers?
3:5.
You can write 3:5. The colon is that punctuation with those 2 dots like that. So you could use the colon. Since they said boys first, you do the boy number first. But if I stepped over here and I said the girl to boy ratio, what would we instead write? Let's still use the colon.
5:3.
We'd write 5:3. Question about choice 1? What's another way we could write that? Other than the colon, there's 3 other ways that we could correctly write a ratio. Anybody know what?
3:25.
We could just use the word 2. We could put the number 3, put the word 2, and then put a 5. That is correct. So if I step over to this world, we go 5, 2, 3. So that's correct. We haven't hit the most common way yet, but those are certainly both true. Anybody have another way we can correctly write a ratio?
In a fraction?
In a fraction form, and that's the most common thing, and that's what the book will often do for us in this. How about, what would you do for that one? What would be your fraction?
I would do 3 to 5.
3 on top of 5. So if we stepped over to this world,
5 to 3.
5 on top of 3. That's the most common thing, right? A fraction. Question there? Then there's one more way we could do it. Anybody have another way you could do it?
Decimal?
We can go decimals. Anything you can do fractions, you can do decimals. So the decimal, though, has nothing to do probably with the numbers that you came from. 3 and 5 will probably not appear in your decimal. What you have to do is take 3/5 and turn it into a decimal. What is 3/5 in decimal world? 0.6. What would 5/3 be if we turn that into a decimal? Okay, that's a mix, but you're getting closer. Yeah, we could think about 1 2/3, but to make the translation from 1 2/3 into a decimal, yeah, 1.6, line on the 6. And then you should simplify none of those. Okay, if you get an improper fraction for ratios, you keep them. Every other day we've had impropers, we've changed those. We're not going to change them. If you get an improper in these, we keep them. Question about that? Let me do a small change. If I go 3 boys, 6 girls, now I'm changing all of these 3s to 6s. Decimals are gone. These 5s are also 6s. So that's got to be gone. We are going to fix some of these. Impropers are fine, but things that can reduce, we need to reduce. So can anybody spot me an answer we need to improve upon?
2. Just like 2 is a fraction.
I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to put that one on hold for a second. Dolly, you see something? Yeah, 3/6, we're going to make 1/2. That is a better answer. That's true. Anybody, don't try this one yet. Anybody have another one you want to take on?
Everything over there is just 1 to 2.
Yeah, so we would need to make this 1, 2, 2. You reduce with the word 2 the same way you reduce with the fraction 1. 3 went into both of these to make 1 and 2. 3 can go into both of those to make 1 and 2. 3 can go into both of those, and we want to make 1 colon 2. So what are we going to do about this?
Just reverse it,
So
2 colon 3.
2 colon
3. Oh, no, 1.
1. This would be
2 to 1.
2, 2, 1. So now let's take this one on finally. What do you think about this?
Just 2.
It's not just 2.
Would it be 2 over 1?
2 over 1. Ratios have to be left as fractions. If they're impropers, that's fine, but we're not going to make mixeds, we're not going to make wholes, we're going to have to leave them as fractions, even if they're improper. So what would be the decimal version of this now, with 1/2? 0.5. That comes out of our knowledge of the chart. It doesn't come anywhere out of the problem. It has nothing to do with the 3's and 6's really. It has to do with the fraction being made a decimal. So what do you think about this one? That's the one that's going to just be 2. No need to put 2.0. 2 would be okay enough for that. So that's our deal. Whatever the first word mentioned in the question is, that number goes first or top. We are going to reduce. We are not going to change impropers. We want impropers. We don't want mixed. Have to leave these as fractions. Question about what's up with ratios. Homework that builds off of this is to the back. In the back there is a set JJ. So in the back JJ, every question wants a fraction. So when we take a quiz on this, I will give you a story and ask you to do all 4 answers once on a quiz. But for this homework, 25 times, we're just going to go fractions. Again, one reminder again, do we want to reduce our fractions?
Yes.
Yes, always. Do we want to change away impropers? No, we're going to leave impropers, but we are going to reduce them to lowest terms when we can. So set JJ is a 1 to 25, and that is that.